Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we've got another news video looking at a new card. No, we're not looking at the TCG Forbidden Limited list from April 1st. No, we're not looking at Thunder the Lightning, a really cool artwork card coming in Rush Duels for the OCG. No, I'm talking about Reusable Jar, a new card we got revealed late last night, and I didn't get a chance to make a video on earlier, so I'm making one now. It's a very cool new continuous trap card that we're going to get into. So yeah, I don't want to waste too much time. Let's just jump right in. Today, we're looking at this card, Reusable Jar. It's a continuous trap. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. It only has one effect, so it's just a hard once per turn. Makes sense. First effect, you can banish one trap card from your graveyard as cost, of course. Add one trap with a different name from your graveyard to your hand. Huh. Huh. This card's super fucking crazy to me. I think this card is actually pretty legitimately strong. Just think about the uses here. I mean, obviously you're not using this in any deck because not only do you need to have a trap engraved that you want to add back, but you also have to have a second trap engraved that you can banish to get that card back. So what's nice is that this card will immediately make up its advantage after one turn, and then on the next turn you're starting to go plus over turns and turns of a duel. So ideally, you want to be playing this obviously in a trap-based deck, and not only a trap-based deck, but a deck that really is good at slowing down the game, and then you can use this to just get a new trap every single turn, hopefully, for at least 3 turns. I know that can be tough because obviously that means you would have had to at some point have 6 different traps in the graveyard, but there are other cards that also work really well with this. So for example, you could use something like Trap Trick in tandem with this. Trap Trick is a free trap engrave that also gets you another trap. So then you activate the trap you got off of Trap Trick, then Reusable Jar lets you banish the Trap Trick to get, or even, well, and get the one back from grave, or you could just get the Trap Trick back, whatever you wanted. It really depends. There's a lot of versatility there because if you have 2, you're getting to pick between the 2. If you have 3, you've got multiple options. Which one's the least useful? You banish that, you get one back, and then you go from there. I think there's a lot of utility here. I think the biggest problem, however, the one downside is speed. Speed is going to be the big thing, and then I guess like setup, you could argue setup could be a problem as well. Speed is a big problem because not only do you have to set this card on your first turn, but then on the next turn you're going to be able to like banish to add a trap back to your hand. And then you'll have to wait till the next turn to set. Well, technically, if you're activating this on your opponent's turn, then you have to wait till your next turn to set it, ideally. But also, you could wait until your turn, use it again, and then you could set it that turn. So you're not necessarily, but you're going to have to wait to set it until your next turn, and then none of the traps will be live until that next turn. So ideally, you have to go your turn, your opponent's turn, your turn, and then your opponent's turn. So it realistically takes 4 turns for this card to actually yield legit results and legit pluses and legit situations that you're going to feel pretty good about playing the card in. So I think that's the biggest downside is speed. You could also argue that the setup is a downside, but I think like it's not that big of a deal because I think any deck you're playing this in, you're probably playing 20 plus traps in. I don't think you'd even consider playing this card in a deck that plays less than 20 traps. It's just like not going to be worth it. You're not going to consistently see 2 traps with a card like this. So I think this is pretty safe to see there, to play there. So I don't think consistency would ever be a problem or like not getting the setup that you want. I think that would be fine. But the main thing is just speed. Speed. But if you have these decks that can slow your opponent down just a little bit, this card very soon will be a +2. Well, I wouldn't say very soon, but I say over the course of a couple turns will then be a +2 and potentially beyond that even, because you add a trap back, you set that trap, you activate that trap, and that's just another trap engraved to like foster into this card being more pluses down the road. Like just think about like looping compulses and looping, you know what I mean, like impermanences and heavy storm dusters, whatever, like whatever, any trap. Keep in mind it's also any trap. It's not even just normal traps. So it even has utility with solemns. You could be looping solemns, and as long as you're getting like judgments, you're cutting your life points in half, but you can never die from judgment. So it's cool. I think it's a really cool card. I think it definitely has some utility in decks, like even Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization says it. Trap Tricks, Altergeist, potentially Subterrors, but I actually think Subterrors don't even play that many traps. I only play like 10 to maybe 15 traps in Subterror, so I'm not even sure if that's really enough to even warrant playing a card like this. And they play cards like that are continuous, like traps that stay on the field. Also, there can be only one, as well as the in archetype Final Battle trap. Those don't even go to the graveyard by themselves, so meh. So, but there are definitely other archetypes like this. They're definitely limited. Maybe stun decks that just play a ton of traps could make use out of this card to help you grind a little bit in those type decks. But yeah, this is really cool. I think this card is legit. I wouldn't play it any more than 2 because obviously it's a hard one's turn effect. So seeing multiple is literally just dead completely. I guess technically you could use it as banish fodder from the grave to activate another one, but that's about it. But guys, let me know your thoughts down below. I think this card's really awesome. Let me know what you think if you're a fan of trap-based decks and this card tickles your fancy in that regard. If you think it's legit, if you think it's too slow, if you think it's too hard to set up, what do you think? I just want to hear your guys' thoughts. So that's pretty much it for this video. Just want to talk about this cool new card. I'm definitely going to be picking it up just in case I decide to play it. I think it's a good generic trap support card, and I'd love to see that. So yeah. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you have not yet. I love you. Peace.